Hello everybody, this is Gregory with How I Lost Over 100 Pounds and Kept It Off for 30 plus years, where there should be no hesitance in your weight loss and weight maintenance. Today we're going to talk about the importance of sleep. Now before we begin, if you need help with your weight loss, contact me through the Clarity FM link found here in the episode notes. Also check out my website, which has tons of recipes and tons of articles that might help you. Also check out my podcast. And lastly, if you appreciate my content, there is a link for PayPal. Now, first of all, I'm recording on an Esplanade, so don't worry if a car is coming behind me. Sleep. A lot of people know that sleep's important on some level, but a lot of people don't know the statistics behind the importance of sleep. So if you have chronic insomnia, either voluntary or involuntary, which we'll talk about in a second, it increases your chances of obesity, but also shortens your life expectancy because it gives you a higher rate of cancer, higher rate of cardiovascular incidences like heart attacks and strokes, higher rate of infections. So there's no good that comes out of chronic insomnia. Now, we know this on one level that sleep's important, but I think certainly compared to 100 years ago where, 150 years ago when we didn't have electricity, people went to sleep when the sun went down, we had candles and so forth, but we were much more in tune with our circadian rhythm. But with the advent of electricity and certainly with television and then certainly with computers and social media, a lot of people are just misprioritizing. A lot of people, I get it. You work during the day, then you come home, you want to unwind. And I take walks every night, as I mentioned in my walking video, and I can't tell you, I see the flicker of televisions pretty much in every house that I walk by. It's just screen addiction is a major problem. We'll have an episode on that in the future. It's a major problem, and a lot of people are looking at screens. And look, I mean, there's in terms vis-a-vis of weight loss, there's a problem with that because it makes you more sedentary. Definitely makes you more sedentary. But with everything, there's a balance. And so if you're watching or looking at screens or playing video games for an hour or two, maybe every day, that's one thing. But the problem is when it affects your sleep. And so there's a couple of reasons why it would affect your sleep. We know that it emanates blue light, especially computers and your phones. Most phones have blue blocking feature that limits it. Some people have blue blocking glasses. I've had mine for 6-7 years. I'll show them. They're old school. They're orange tinged. And so some people kind of thwart the blue light problem that way. Now blue light's important because what essentially blue light does is it fakes your mind into thinking it's daylight, even though it's obviously not daylight. So instead of melatonin being released when the sun goes down, blue light from your computer or your phone tricks your mind into thinking, oh, it's 2 p.m. when it's really 10 p.m. So I would tell you wear blue light blocking glasses, but also how about just turn off everything at a respectable hour. Again, there's nothing more important than sleep. Now lots of times we forget this because we are up at late hours on social media or we're watching TV until we fall asleep or playing video games till late hours. But remember, the less sleep you get throughout your life, you incur the sleep debt. And aside from the cognitive problems of it, how it affects you the next day, even if you amp up on coffee, what it ultimately does is undermines your weight loss and your weight maintenance. Your body goes into stress mode and releases cortisol. Cortisol is a natural antagonist to weight loss when we get stressed. Think of people who take prednisone, which is a steroidal anti-inflammatory drug. They get overweight because steroids are antagonistic to weight loss. So look, I understand there's things that you think are going to be important to stay up for, but really I would honestly tell you, try to be asleep by 10. I mean, I'm serious. You need 7 to 9 hours of sleep. That is a classic amount of sleep. Hypersomnia, which is more than 9 hours a day, can actually lead to the same problems that chronic insomnia does. But most people don't have the 7 to 9. And look, the 7 to 9 is going to vary throughout your life. Typically, the older you get, you don't need as much of the sleep. But as a whole, 7 to 9 is something that is recommended. So if you're going to bed at 1, getting 7 hours is tough because you're waking up at 8. A lot of people work, not everybody. I mean, look at the younger people, they can sleep till noon. But as a whole, the typical 30, 40, 50-year-old can't be waking up at 8 a.m. So if you know there's a hard wake-up time, then there needs to be a hard going to sleep time. Now, some of you will be like, well, I don't fall asleep at 10. There are things that you can do called sleep hygiene, little things you can do. Take an evening walk, take a hot shower. Again, this channel is all about like things that I do that help me. I turn off all electricity at 8. I turn off my Wi-Fi, I should say, at 8. That way, after 8, I'm getting my brain ready. So I have a salt lamp, I have incandescent light bulbs, I read my Bible, I read my Catholic literature, I do my prayers, I read a little book, just to wind down. I take a magnesium pill, which is a natural sedative, and I don't have any blue light, obviously, and I put the thermostat at really cold because optimal sleep temperature is 64 to 66 degrees. So if you can afford it, put your AC very cold. Again, darkness, don't have fluorescent lights because fluorescent lights trigger blue light, just like LED lights do, and they're also natural anxiety provokers. So at night, really, should just be incandescent light bulbs, like the old Edison light bulbs, salt lamps, candles, and stuff like that. Just do the best that you can on that. But induce your body to go to sleep by doing the sleep hygiene things. And lastly, sleep is exceedingly important. And I understand that some of you are going to post in the comments whenever this channel gets larger, I can't sleep, I have this issue, I have this, and I get it. People have sleep apnea. People might have a partner that has sleep apnea, or you have your own medical problems that cause you to wake up all the time. I get it. I totally understand. And I sympathize with you. And I have chronic insomnia here and there. It comes and goes. Right now, last year I've been pretty good, but I've gone, periods in my life where I'm getting less than 3 hours of sleep for a month straight. So a lot of it is in here for me because I'm a neurotic person, but I can relate to your insomnia. But what I would tell you is just do the best you can, because the statistics don't tell lies. Okay, so if it's because you have a medical issue or your partner snores or whatever it is, find a way to figure it out, because again, this is one of those like a tripod of weight loss, and along with diet and a little of exercise, one of the things that's understated, that is not talked about enough, is sleep, and how lack of sleep can jeopardize everything that you're trying to do. So get sleep. Guys, post in the comments. I'd like to hear from you. Hit the notification, subscribe, and share button. Share with others. Until next time, take care. God bless and pray.